So to sum everything up for the Vermont Judiciary, whom I'm asking to look into these judges, Judge Hoare, Judge Shafritz, and I don't remember the name of the other judge that signed off on the restraining order. Autumn Caton, who filed a restraining order because the best defense is an offense. I have the text, still have the text thread where her parent threatens me, basically admits that they're informants for law enforcement, and thus stalking me with the help of law enforcement who have access to sophisticated surveillance technology like Palantir, and there's others. So they're basically the best defense. The best defense is an offense. I say I'm filing a restraining order. Within 24 hours, they go down and they fill out a restraining order, which is really stupid because they know the state police, the Cousy, the sheriff's department, and Hochul's independent investigation, that actually preceded her becoming governor after they ran Cuomo out of office and raided Buffalo City Hall in November of 2019, have all of us under surveillance all the time. They're not getting me victim services and getting me sequestered because they're using me as bait. They're leaving me out here so I can get confessions out of everybody, and they're trying to figure out, they already have many people cooperating with their investigation. Well, they implicate somebody. Of course, what do? They tell on somebody else in exchange for leniency. Now they have to have independent evidence to corroborate co-conspirator testimony. So, probably several people from Safe Harbor that aren't a part of the crap, or maybe are and just don't want to own it. Oh no, it's the police forced us to do it, or high-ranking military Goldwaters and Weinbergers and oligarchs that have the whole justice system on their side, and they're threatening our families, and they're doing, and domestic violence, Burlington pedo department victims advocate McAfee's involved, and so is the community social worker, or whatever she is involved, and this cop, and then they need me to stay out here, and they have surveillance on everybody, and they see who's who, and including judges. We know Judge Hoare's involved. That's why I listed him on the restraining order. They work for him. In fact, Becky Burrell, Autumn's friend, and they admitted this, I would post stuff about, this idiot came on to me and gaslit me about being ADHD. Didn't list a name because I didn't have a name. Sure enough, Becky Burrell shows up, gets on the bus right before I do. That's how good their surveillance is. They know what bus I'm going to get on before I get on it. Then they have her get on it up ahead, and then we get off at the station, and there sits Autumn, the person who gaslit me about being autistic and ran the stupid, disgusting, Herman Goring, Nazi-style, half-ass honeypot op. And that's my friend. Okay, first of all, there's a confession. I knew they were working together, but couldn't prove it. Now I got him. And then the meter maid, I got him basically writing up a ticket that he shouldn't have been writing. And then when I start filming him, oh, please don't do that. What? You're a cop. Why shouldn't I hold you accountable? And then Michael, Autumn and Becky's friend Michael, show up. Oh, that's my friend. I don't give a shit. Nepotism and cronyism does not play a role in how I do my job. I am autonomous. Especially since Chad is recorded threatening a whole lot of other licensed professionals who were going to AA meetings and basically using his police power and using things they said in meetings years earlier to justify a criminal investigation abusing his police power in Orlando to investigate people in AA based on stuff he learned in AA to cover up the fact that he's an addict, an alcoholic who refuses to self-report. Threatened a judge in Sanford, Florida, who then opened a criminal investigation into him. And Chad had to consult his own personal lawyer, who said, I don't know if you got a problem with drugs or alcohol or not, but if you do, you're mandated to self-report to the Florida bar, and you have to go into their program and be subject to routine random drug testing. And Chad can't stay sober for a week. He can't stay off cocaine, Valium, whatever. He can't stay clean and sober for a week. So that would be the end of his career. Not to mention, because he's so prone to victim tampering and evidence tampering and Brady violations and not being an effective criminal defense attorney, plus he was a prosecutor, they can audit every single case he's ever done, both as a prosecutor, as an independent investigator for DOJ, and as a criminal defense attorney. He can be sued by the whole state of Florida could be sued. DOJ could be sued, which they are anyway right now. All his partners in crime are being sued. Pam Blondie, Cash Patel. So the people handling this independent investigation are doing a hell of a job. They've already made my whole case for me by showing that it's happening to a lot of us. I remember Governor Hochul told all those FBI agents that Trump fired, come to work for us in New York. We got you. So basically, they ran a sham on your court, and I believe to set me up for a false arrest, amongst other things. Probably to kill me once they get me in jail. They can make sure I don't get my heart medicine or my cancer meds that these special prosecutors are making sure that I get. And to basically try to give her some credibility, which would also, again, they're trying to kill me, and they're falsifying the records in such a way to make both parents look guilty. My mom's too stupid to realize that her abusive behavior is being exploited, and then to do an end run around a court-martial. I mean, if military has a problem with my father as a criminal investigator in the military, do a court-martial if you have any evidence that he's drug trafficking or child trafficking or whatever. First of all, if they're making the allegation, they wouldn't get to run the investigation and manufacture the evidence like they can do as in the civilian sector. Now, Virginia G. Piper isn't just DHS and an oligarch and high-ranking military. She has the Virginia G. Piper Cancer Treatment Center at Honor Health that is contracted with United, Centene Corporation, all of which have various RICO charges against them, Catholic Health, and basically Pfizer and all these other healthcare monopolies that go actually global. Catholic Health and United are the two largest healthcare besides Pfizer globally. And by the way, I know your local police said it doesn't matter that Autumn Caton and her friends have already violated her own restraining order. Maybe in woke Vermont, it does. You guys don't care about that. But in every other state, if you file a restraining order saying that you're scared for your life and that the defendant has to stay 300 feet or 300 yards or whatever it was away, and then you yourself, as the plaintiff, get within inches of the defendant, you're not too afraid now, are you? That voids every other state. When you file a restraining order, that judge tells you, this doesn't just apply to the defendant, it applies to you as the plaintiff. If you see this person that you're claiming you're afraid of, and you deliberately walk up to them, say anything to them, get on the bus with them, get within a few inches of them, then you're clearly not very afraid of them now, are you? And that means it's null and void. It cannot be enforced. She can't come back later and get on a bus with me and call police and say, oh, she's violating the restraining order. When she's been sending, her and all of her people have been sending 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th parties, one of which I filmed knocking the phone out of my hand. He got recorded coming on to me at City Hall Park. He's sexually abusing a lot of the homeless women down there. And then the police run cover for him and put no trespasses on us and the parks. The Parks Department, the security, all these various contractors cover for him. Well, I was filming him. He knows he's under investigation. Spoke perfectly fine English when he came on to me. Knocks the phone out of my hand. BPD actually took a report. But Becky Burrell, Autumn's friend, is texted me, well, he barely speaks English. Like that's an excuse. Like I'm lying. He couldn't possibly come on to me because he doesn't understand English. And then that's why in the video, he's mostly talking with an accent or in his native tongue to try to, because that's what they cooked up as a plausible defense for him. So that means Becky and Autumn are covering for local rapists. Now, that guy that's in the video isn't the only one who came on to me. Of course, Autumn did. She bought me a mini sewing machine. You know why she did that? Because I went on to a shopping wholesale site and put one in my cart. Never bought it. Never published anything about it. Never told anything about it. But because of her whoever she works for with their high-tech surveillance, they had her gift me one. And I still have the text from her from last summer. Said, oh, I got that. I found a small sewing machine for you. So that's as creepy as it gets. I never gave her anything. I never initiated any text with her. And the only reason why I started initiating any text with Becky Burrell was to gain their confidence so that when I did go after them and started accusing them of working for my ex-boyfriend and basically Epstein's entire cabal, if they truly were friends and victims advocates of Sarah Georges, they would have a calm, I don't, you're confused. They wouldn't be offended. Because only the truth hurts. Well, sure enough, when I started accusing them on my social media, not to their face, the reaction was pretty ugly, which includes, they were working with the park ranger and some lady named Janelle down at City Hall, all of whom impersonating progressive law enforcement, meaning Sarah George, Bernie Sanders, Mayor Mulvaney Stanek. And then they all came down hard with their false criminal allegations, and apparently City Attorney Emmett Wood is involved too. I don't know whether he just went along with it like the mayor did. But when the police, and as soon as they did it, I immediately requested victim services. I called Sarah George's victims advocates. But they still, apparently McAfee is one of their targets. They always refer me to people that are suspects, like people at the Justice Center, because they want to watch them crap the bed in real time. It's one thing to do it under Weinberger, because, he was the mayor. You got to do what the mayor says. But it's another to do it now that you have a new mayor, and all the Epstein stuff is all over the news. So I'm guessing, and with their surveillance, they probably knew Autumn was going to go file that malicious restraining order, and they knew Judge Hoare was corrupt. I'm guessing that there's several